Yo, 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 yo. This is DJ Brainstorm on the mic with you right now, coming to you with another episode of the DMST Conversations podcast right now. Here again with Eulise. Eulise, how are you feeling? What's going on?
Man, I'm blessed, healthy, and wealthy per usual. I'm feeling really good. I actually took this Sunday to, make a moment of nostalgia because I started cleaning. And I had my music going, and it just, it felt very therapeutic. So I'm feeling real
Yeah.
good. Feeling really
I just thought
good.
about it. Cleaning, I don't know if we thought about it being nostalgic. Well, I guess it is nostalgic for us now as an adult because when we was kids, last thing we wanted to do was clean, but our parents made our asses get up and do it. Like that was like non-negotiables back in the day. I think that's probably kind of why I'm the way I am now, like when it comes to chores and stuff, because it was kind of a non-negotiable. Uh, Saturdays came, you wanted to go do something, or you had to go do something. Like even in high school, you had to go do extracurricular stuff,
Hmm.
whatever you was in, if it was sports or whatever else. Or again, you just wanted to go do something. You better have them damn chores done. So it was a non-negotiable, but it was like that back in the day. People talk about turning on music and stuff like that is going on in the house. So as an adult, I can feel it. As a kid, you're probably looking like, man, get the hell out of here.
But I'm telling you, like, it's so crazy because when I get to adulting, it actually feels really, 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 really good. And I don't know, I've always been a firm believer, and I think I got this from my godmother, that, your space, your living space, whatever, represents your life. And I think, like, as I was cleaning, a lot of things got clearer for me as far as, like, what became a priority, what I could put on the back burner, what I need to do next, and it just feels, like, different. You just feel different, especially, like, I did laundry, I cleaned, you know what I'm saying, my bathroom, my bedroom. So going to sleep tonight on clean sheets and a
Yeah,
clean, you know what I'm saying, clean bedroom, clean bathroom. My food is ready for tomorrow. My uniform is already set. Like I know I can just get up and just grab and go. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
not having to rush and find like where did I put this, where you put that, whatever. And I promise you, like it feels so good. I always wanted to call off just so I could finish everything. I want to reorganize everything in my house. But it
I
felt
will
it felt
say,
real good.
I will say, there's one of the greater feelings in the world is getting to the bed on a set of clean sheets. They just feel extra crispy,
Man,
extra
you talk about the
whatever else.
struggle that would ensue. I got a
Yeah,
blanket right now. You just
yeah, it's just like it's something about it. That first night when you put them sheets on the bed, them boys just they hug your mattress tight and everything. It's just like they just perfect.
man, and then I even took it a step further and I ended up rotating my mattress. So I got the fresh
Oh yeah,
side
yeah.
with
You
the
gotta do
fresh
that
sheets.
sometimes too. Yep,
Yes,
yep, yep.
yes.
Let me see. What about my week? Well, I was telling you before the show. I kind of, I tried to unplug this week a little bit. Well,
Okay.
I did something different. I tried to do like these like three things. I'm trying to set like three goals for myself for each week. I don't
Mhm.
know where I got that idea. It just popped in my head. So I did. I wanted to go to the gym at least twice, which I did. I got to find a way to get more serious about the gym
Who you
and take.
telling?
It's just tough, but so I did that. I wanted to spend. Let's see. It was go to the gym 3 times. Damn, I got to look now. Hold on, let me see.
Go ahead, pull it up.
Yeah, my three
Pull
goals
it
was
up.
the gym twice, which I did. To turn my board on and practice my DJ stuff for at least 2 hours this week, which I did. I think I got to 2 hours. And then the third thing was to put the phone down and to put it away. That was my part of just kind of unplugging for a while because we just spend too much time looking at the phone. No matter what. And if it's close by, you gonna pick it up. It don't matter what you're doing. It don't matter if you got a slow period at work, if you're watching TV and something go to commercial, it don't matter. It just you gonna pick the phone up. And
Yeah.
I wish we could put a camera on ourselves sometimes to just kind of show how many times in a day you just pick the phone up. Like how many times you pick the phone up, look at it, don't really do nothing with it, put it down, and like 5 seconds later pick the phone right back up, don't do nothing with it, put it down, and then like 15 seconds later pick the phone back up. And I'm telling you, if people knew how many times they actually did it, I think maybe they'll kind of slow it down a little bit.
I think what iPhone uses, if I'm not mistaken, there is an actual setting that you can go into or whatever and look at your screen time because,
Oh, yeah,
with the
mine comes
face
up every Sunday
recognition.
morning.
Yeah, when, with the face recognition or whatever, every time you look at your phone or whatever, it activates, like, it wakes up, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So, I'm
mhm.
pretty sure, like, I can look at my average screen time and I'll probably be embarrassed.
Yeah, I get mine every single morning. By the time I wake up on not every morning, every Sunday morning, it'll give me my previous weeks. Um, and I mean, it's kinda deceiving because if you use it for, like, music or something, then it's gonna be higher. I'll turn on music while I'm cooking or, I'll turn on some music while I'm in the shower sometimes, so that can make it a little bit higher, but, I mean, even with that, you take off an hour, hour and a half, for my cooking time all week long and all these other things, I who knows? I probably average about 3 some hours per week, which just doesn't seem like a lot, but we gotta think about it. We just sitting there scrolling. If you sitting there for 20 minutes, if you're sitting there for 10 minutes, if you're sitting there for
You
5,
said
like I
3
just
hours a
said,
week. I'm
yeah,
probably
maybe.
it's 168 hours in a week. You sleep, let's say, average of 6 to 8 hours.
I'm sorry, per day, I mean. Is what I
Oh,
meant,
okay.
per day.
I'm about to say, if you 3 hours a week, you
I meant
golden.
per day. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm that my fault. I meant, like, per
I
day.
think in a day, I'm probably a
Probably
good
about 3 to 4 hours I'm probably averaging.
6 because there's so much downtime at my job that I be on my phone, like,
Mhm.
because the patients, be on the machine
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
3 and 4 hours, and then I do 2 shifts of that or whatever, so while they on the machine, I mean, I take the vitals every 30 minutes or whatever, so I'm up and doing that or whatever, but for the most part, at work, for them 10 hours, I probably am on my phone for at least a solid 3
Yeah.
because there's so much downtime.
And so that's where you can start looking at it and being like, "Alright, what could I possibly do with this time?" That's why I really want to set these goals to be like, all right, go do this. You know, I need to pick up my laptop sometimes and do something that's creative wise.
Mhm.
If it's something with music or anything else, trying to come up with an idea for to come up with another show type thing or something. But there's just more stuff we can do. Even just watching TV. I mean, I'm a TV person because I'm a '80s baby, so I'm a TV person. We didn't have all the extra shit that people do now, the computers and stuff. We came in the house, you turned the TV on, but sometimes I could turn that off and just again do something productive. Or at night I try to read a little bit more,
Okay.
before I go to bed.
And I was just thinking about that. I wanna start reading a little bit more because I got all these books and they just sitting.
hmm And it's one of them things. It's like if you get into the habit, well, it's like anything else. If you start the habit, you'll be okay.
Mhm.
It's just actually getting started with it that's the tough thing. Because on a good night, I can go get into bed at 11, read until 12 something, and then try to go to sleep. You know, most nights though, I'm just sitting up until about 1 in the morning, and then I go get into bed, and then it's like, all right, then I'm tired in the morning. It's just a bad cycle.
Yeah, they say you should put your phone down at least an hour
All of
or
that,
2 before you,
all of that. Uh huh.
get to bed or whatever so your
Yep.
brain can kinda, like, slow down or whatever.
Yep. Because all it do is keep our brains firing.
Mhm.
And that's why I don't like sleeping with the TV on either. I know I will, but I'll turn it all the way down. But that's why I don't really like sleeping with the TV on because it just keeps your brain moving. To me, it's like you
You know
never
what I
really get
do?
those sleep.
I got YouTube on my TV, of course, so I go on YouTube and I'll put up, like, one of the black screens,
I used one of those
with,
the
like,
other
the
night.
rainwater and
I
it's
do,
the ocean. I sleep to that. So it's a black
yeah.
screen, but I hear, like, the water
But you got
sounds.
the noise, yeah. I just
Yeah.
used one of those the other night because I done basically had insomnia this week. I'd had like 2, 3 nights where I could not sleep. And but I put that on one night, like you said, the black screen. I came down here in the basement because I I try to do that thing if I don't, they say if you're not sleeping like 20, 30 minutes to get out the bed, but I don't really do that all the time. But if I'm in the bed for over an hour, hour and a half, and I'm not asleep, I just get up and get out the bed because why am I laying here?
I've
Uh,
heard that if you blink really fast, like keep blinking for a minute straight, like just keep blinking, blinking, you'll fatigue your eyes and you'll go to sleep.
where do you be hearing this shit at?
And then if I was you, I would keep some ZQL,
Oh,
some
oh
melatonin,
no,
and some
yeah.
Benadryl.
Melatonin don't work for me as much. ZQL is my
Benadryl,
friend.
take
Yeah.
listen, if you know you ain't getting no sleep last night, right?
Oh, ZQL.
Get
If
you
I didn't sleep last night, then tonight would be a night that I would be like, all right, I'm taking ZQL. Sorry,
that's
Kolisha,
yeah,
I'm gonna be in
that's what I'm
bed
saying,
tonight.
like, knock it
Yeah,
out, like
yeah.
like, when we get done with this, Start taking that stuff so that way you can get your full 8. Cause
Yeah,
what
I
time you
guess
gotta get
so.
up in the morning?
Normal days working from home, thank goodness. I climb out the bed about 7:50, and
Okay,
I'm on the and I get punched in, get all my stuff set up with the computer by 8. But since I got to go in the office tomorrow morning I got a meeting with a doctor tomorrow, um, I'll probably get up at 7 just to get
okay.
rolling. I mean, if I could be asleep by 12, 12:30, I'd be happy. I still can live off of 7 hours, 6, 7 hours. I know it ain't good to keep doing it the older you get, but I could still live off that.
And let's be for real. They told us 8 hours of sleep because of the Industrial Revolution. We're actually
Yeah.
supposed to get 12 to 13 hours of sleep.
Well, we all are very, very, very much, we don't get to sleep. We don't, the amount of sleep we're supposed to. Oh, well, we manage.
And we don't really get to REM sleep or deep sleep. Like I know
Mm-mm.
I have been putting it off for a minute, whatever, but this year I am going to find my way to do a sleep study,
It's yeah,
get a CPAP because I know I need it because I
I
snore.
probably do too. Yeah, I snore.
Yeah, get a CPAP because I know that that probably has a lot to do with my fatigue. I can sleep good, but if I don't get like the good deep
Yeah.
sleep, it
Yeah,
don't matter how
you
long I
got
lay in
to.
the bed.
Yep, you got to. Mm-hmm.
So, um, I just know that as you get older, that does add up and it takes a toll on your health. So
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm definitely trying to do that like this year or whatever.
Yeah. I kind of know I need to do the same thing, like you said, a CPAP, but I just don't want to deal with that machine and trying to sleep with that thing going. I just, mm but I do snore. But at least I don't think that I do like some people really stop breathing sometimes because of their sleep apnea. Like you will hear them snoring and then it's like it just stops. And I don't think I do that. Now, if Carlicia listens to the show, she might tell me I do, but
I do.
mhm. But yeah, we all got to get on it. We got to take better care of ourselves.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of my symptoms will kind of subside if I lose some weight because a lot of overweight people, once you lose weight, you actually sleep better.
Yeah, I mean, all of us need to drop some pounds, to be honest. Um, Even me, and I know that ain't my biggest source of motivation because it ain't like I got to drop like 25, 30 pounds, but I still need to be in better shape. I still need to be able to be in better shape, like be able to do more cardio and things like that. So that's why I'm trying to just be better about getting out there. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to stick to it.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop into a couple of things. We said we're gonna keep it concise this week because it's just I think we both kind of tired. It's been a long Sunday. It's been a long week. Shout out to the people that's been tuning into the shows a little
Oh
bit.
yeah. Much love.
I know
They
on the
taught
on
every
the
bit
YouTube. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
that
you
little.
like you're throwing up
I
gang
don't.
size.
I know, right? This.
I know James would be commenting like James Lane. So shout out to him because I know he'll tune in. But everybody, man, shout out to everybody that that's sticking with this while we still doing this show. I wanted to finish what we was talking about last week because we had started talking right at the end of the show, but we started having little issues with the internet stuff. About I seen a post on Twitter where people were talking about, you know what, this is supposed to be. Hold on, give me 1 second. I don't want this to act up. Now I'll probably cut that part out because I can.
Why? Because I went like this. I
Oh
went
no,
like
I
this
didn't
like
even
a
see you
little
do that.
doll.
No, no, no. I when it's this works better for whatever reason they tell you to keep your laptop connected to a power source.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to make sure I did that. I forgot to plug that up. But anyway, so last week we was ending off talking about. I saw a post on Twitter where people were talking about the cost of weddings, which again are through the roof. I won't even share the final number for what we did total for our wedding a
You
few
know what I
years
want to
back.
know? How much did it cost to feed everybody?
Well, our venue, the catering was included in the venue.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly how much it was separately, but I mean, it's easily thousands though. Easily thousands. To be honest, everything adds up. And the reason that I wanted to kind of finish this too is because I saw this lady. Her name is Mel. She started doing pods and stuff. I think after we had started years ago. So she probably got started maybe 17, 18 or something like that. I think she was still in college at the time. She was doing different podcast shows. Now she's like doing comedy, and she was she does stuff like Kev on stage and things like that. So I've been watching her do things over the years. But she's getting married, and she had a post on Instagram yesterday about the cost of things, and it's just all this dialogue about people talking about how you can get out of paying for stuff, and it's just like I just feel like it's such a weird thing because again, weddings are overpriced. There are different parts of wedding stuff that is very much overpriced. I knew going in some things were going to be costly because I, as a DJ, work weddings, so I know what photographers kind of charge at times. Excuse me. I know what DJs charge. I kind of had an idea what venues cost, but you don't really know until you start going into these places and they start telling you how much these things are. So anyway, but you know, the post last week was just a guy saying that all these little tricks he had that you can use to get around paying for stuff. Call a venue and tell them you just want to have a formal dinner. Don't tell them it's a wedding and all this stuff. Don't get it in writing and then tell them it's a wedding and then they can't change it. It was a lot of stuff that didn't add up. But it came down to, for me, um, I, my thought process on the whole thing is people want 5-star service for 1-star prices when it comes to things. Um, Weddings are something completely different. I was talking to Carlisha about it again last night, and I remember going into the wedding. The person who did her hair messed it up to the point that she was in tears about it because it's your wedding. And like I told her, I'm like, I've seen her go get her hair done at times, and she may come home, she may not love it or something like that, but she lives, because it's okay. You didn't like it this time. She was in tears about the hair for her wedding. There's a huge difference when it's your wedding as opposed to something else. Because I was commenting on the post and talking to different people last weekend, and people were like, well, as a DJ, you should, or whatever, you should do the same work no matter what. And it's like, I get it. Yeah, it's the same
No,
work
you're
technically in a
curating the
sense.
vibe. Let's be for
N-
real. You're
No,
curating
no,
the
no,
vibe. You playing certain songs, like, get out of
no.
here.
I'm trying to give it like at least so that yeah, it's on the surface. Yes, I'm playing music. I'm playing music no matter if I'm playing it for a wedding or it's on the surface. I get what you're trying to say. But again, you're trying to get 5-star service for a 1-star price because like on Fridays, I play 4 hours up here at Malloy's on Friday nights. I go to the bar, start at 7:30. I walk in that bitch at 7:05. I come in with one speaker stand, and my board. Takes me 12 minutes to 12, 15 minutes to get set up, and I'm good to go. That's bar regular Friday night. Do this every Friday for 4 hours. That's bar service. That's 4-hour service. Now, if you telling me I should do the same energy for every single thing, let me show up to your wedding. Excuse me. Let me show up to your wedding with just a couple speakers, 30 minutes before it starts, and be like, "Hey, man, let me just run these chords real quick." Whatever. You don't want that. So don't try to talk to me and tell me like, oh, these are the same things. They're not the same things. These are not two equal things.
And on top of that, if I was to dress like I'm DJing in a bar at your wedding, because I'm
All of
pretty
that.
sure what I wear needs to be,
All of that.
according. Like,
All of that.
what?
You know how many times I've done weddings and receptions? 'Cause a lot of times when I get booked for them, I get booked to do the wedding and the reception
Mhm.
because I'm also coming and I have to supply you with the microphones and I'm supplying you with the sound system for the actual service and all these things. So don't try to sit here and tell me that when I'm charging you more that I shouldn't charge you more because it's the same thing. And again, the stakes are higher. If I'm doing your anyway, it could be, let's say it's
Cookout.
your 40, yeah, cookout or your birthday party. Say you wanted a song that you wanted to hear at a certain point or whatever, and for whatever reason, I don't find the song or I don't have the song or something like that. Like, you going to be upset because it was your moment for your cookout, your birthday party or something. You're going to be upset. Let you tell me what your song is for your first dance. And everybody out there and you out there on the floor and everybody, we announce you and you standing there with your husband or your wife, and I go and they announce that, okay, we about to have the first dance, and then I'm looking like, oh shit, I ain't got the song. You ain't never gonna forget that ever in life. Like, you'll forget the thing that happened at your birthday party or something, like, you might be mad about it, but you ain't never gonna forget the thing that fucked up your wedding reception or that moment or something. So, again, stop trying to tell me that these 2 things are the same thing.
And on top of that, it's like everybody has their price. My dad told me at a young age, like all good things ain't cheap and all cheap things ain't good. So for things you actually care about, I'll spend an extra dollar or so on my hair, on my nails, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that's important to me.
Mhm,
Now, will I cut corners and you know what I'm saying, like maybe get some cheaper paper towels or something like that, whatever, like, yeah, but it's like when things matter, when you value that like investment, it doesn't
mhm.
compare. It does not
Yeah,
compare. So
yeah.
that's one thing that I do say that I go off referrals. So I'll ask people like their opinion on, you know, this service or that service or whatever. And if they have a good experience, that's where I'm gonna go. I never try to be like the guinea pig for anything,
Mhm,
like at all. I don't like being
mhm.
the first time that somebody is experiencing whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I always like to do referrals. And that's why I'm very particular about, you know, what shows I do as a comic. Because if my people have a good experience, and you produce this show, whatever, then okay, I keep that in the back of my mind when you reach out again to book me. Okay, cool. But let my people have a bad experience because you got to think about it. Like I'm risking my support system on your production
Yeah.
because I know some people tell me right now it's certain shows that they will not attend if I get booked for them again because of the
Mhm,
experience they had.
mhm.
So, you know, you can cut corners all you want to, whatever, but the quality of your service, like, people remember that. And if they have a good time, they'll tell the world. If they have a horrible time, they tell nobody. If they petty, they'll still tell the world though.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you gotta do good business regardless.
Yeah, and and people gotta understand for that whole wedding discourse that's going on out there right now, it's there's a price point for everything. You
Mhm.
know, so again, the lady, her name is Mel. She was talking about, getting price for like the flowers and stuff, and talking about, like $10,000 and stuff like that. And she's not lying. She is definitely not lying. Now, could you get cheaper flowers? Yeah. Could you get not real flowers? Yes. Could you get the flowers yourself and try to put them up? Yes, you can. But you want to tell me, like, you was at my wedding, you want to tell me who gonna spend all the time putting all these flower arrangements everywhere? And even if you think that you're gonna get all the flowers and do it yourself, you gonna do it as nice as this professional over here, you
What
know?
pissed me off is that the people kept knocking over the freaking
The
glass
f the
cylinders
the glass
at the
stuff on
house.
the
It pissed
yeah.
me off.
I
Like,
don't know how people kept
look
doing that.
at look where you're fucking going.
Yeah, at
Like
Colisha,
I listen,
yeah,
I wasn't even a part of it. I wasn't in it. But as a guest, it pissed
yeah,
me off because imagine as the bride, you knowing that you have this setup for you to
mhm,
walk down this aisle and everybody fucking ruined it.
yeah, yeah. We didn't even tell her because the lady who did it, Samia, who did our flowers and all of that stuff, she came and found me. She's like, "Look, we wound up taking them up all off because people kept knocking them over and breaking them." She's like, "We just decided because because they were for that purpose, and then they took those and they wound up being part of the centerpieces on all of the tables." And so she's
Man,
like, and she was just like, "We just didn't want you to lose any more." And she was like, I didn't want to tell Carlisha because I didn't want her to be mad. So I'm like, all right, we just, so she didn't even know until she started walking down, I think, that they wasn't even there anymore because
I
people
would
kept breaking them.
man, I would ugh.
And then for as much as all that shit costs too, y'all just out here breaking this
That's what
stuff.
I'm saying. Like, this not cheap. It's
Mm-mm.
not cheap. And y'all are breaking glass. It's not cheap. Y'all putting glass all over where they supposed to be walking at. Like I was so pissed. And then I was just like, is there a way that they can be ushered to the fucking chair so that way they can
I
tell
don't
them,
know.
hey, watch your fucking step, your dumb
I
ass?
don't know.
I'm sorry.
I
If
don't.
y'all watching this and you are one of the guests that broke that shit, I don't take it back. I don't fucking take it back. Your dumb
Yeah,
ass.
I don't know who all broke stuff. I just know at some point again she came and found me, and she was just like, "Hey, these things keep getting knocked over or whatever, or people keep breaking them."
Matter of
Um,
fact, I would have said nobody can walk across this. Y'all got to go to the outside and fill in.
yeah,
I
maybe
would
that's what
just
it
cut
should have
off
been.
the aisle. I said,
To
y'all
be
gotta go
honest,
sit
maybe that's
outside.
what it was. Maybe we should have somehow had something where people had to only go to the. Now
Nobody
that you
walks
mention
on
it,
this but the wedding party. Fuck y'all.
yeah, yeah. But oh well, you only get one wedding. But yeah, I guess to tie
I
that
think
part off,
that's
I
a note
just
that I'm gonna take when I get married. Nobody walking down this
yeah,
part except for the wedding party.
there are things about getting married that people get upset about. Multiple things, and I just always say until people do it and go through the process, um, I give people grace because there are just so many parts of the whole thing, the whole day, the whole planning process. There was nothing harder than I did. You know, for far as that is easy, but one of the hardest things I did or we did as a couple was a guest list. And I the pressure of a guest list, the pressure of who gets plus ones, the pressure of who's going to sit with who at tables, your seating arrangement, and all of those types of things. Um, is one of those things that I don't wish on people because everybody wants stuff. Everybody wants extra things, or everybody wants to bring people, and it's like you got to tell people no, and then once because I got to get family in, and then once I get family in, then I circle back and be like, okay, now I can get people in, I can get extra stuff in because I had a rule: if people hadn't been dating for like a year or something like that, that I really kind of just didn't really do the plus ones. Like people, I had to know that people were dating more so than anything else. Not just like, okay, I completely understand people want to bring people because nobody wants to go to a wedding by themselves. I 100% understand that. But I had to be like, okay, at some point you have to actually be dating this person because again, I got cousins that ain't really still spoke to me a ton since the wedding because they didn't get an invite because I got friends I wanted to have come. I had a bunch of cousins. It's just the guest list is the toughest thing ever. I don't
I'm gonna tell you
I
like this.
can't.
I okay. So and I can definitely empathize with you on the cousins because my mom is the youngest of 15. So
My
all the
mom is the second
cousins,
oldest of eight.
all the cousins I have, however, on that day specifically, if we haven't talked, if we haven't been in communication, like I don't like say I've been dating this person for 5 years. If at no point you've met my husband, you've been around
Mm-hmm.
my husband, like you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with a coworker because her daughter is getting married and she doesn't know how her daughter doesn't know how to tell her aunt and uncle that they can't bring their 5 kids.
Huh. I ain't had no problem with that one.
So I said, okay, so who else is bringing kids? She told me nobody. And then I said, okay, is there kids in the wedding party? She said, yes. She said, okay, well, let them know that there's no kids at the wedding except for the kids that's actually in the
And the
wedding
wedding
party.
party. Yeah.
So that's it. And that's the reason why their parents is there and so and so got invited because their child is in the wedding. So the parent
Mm-hmm.
needs to be there to, parent their child at the wedding.
Yeah.
And it was a also another situation to where my friend's daughter was feeling a little iffy about inviting her grandfather, who she has a strained relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
Don't invite him.
Yeah.
You have a
At the
strained
end of the day,
relationship with
it's
this person. I don't care what title they hold in your life. It could be your mama. Like this is the day that you are there to
damn right.
celebrate,
That's
consummate
your day.
your day with your significant other. There is no
Yeah.
exceptions. There is no like nothing for that. This is your day.
Yeah.
And if they're not there to celebrate you and your union, they're gonna be a,
Yeah.
a sour apple in the back of the reception
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
with a frown on their face, killing the
Yeah.
vibes. No, you
Yeah.
can't come. No.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had a couple uncles that I didn't invite because I knew they pretty much weren't gonna come, so I ain't even send them an invite. I got first cousins, like first cousins that I didn't invite because like you said, if we haven't hung out, if we haven't seen each other because y'all don't live here or you have never met my wife or anything like, I'm not giving you this invite when there are people in my life that I see all the time, like good friends or something like that, that deserve that invite. And again, it's not saying I don't love them or nothing like that, but it's just that it doesn't make sense to send this invite right now when we have a limited number of people that we're going to do. Because we still had a pretty decent sized wedding. We had like about 120, 130 people there. Um, and so, but I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't gonna happen. I mean, and then the thing with weddings too, like, is they charge you if people come or not. Like your dinner and stuff and things like that, they're charging you by the plate. And so, let alone don't get me talking about the people who RSVP and did everything they were supposed to do, and then they asses didn't come. So I'm still paying for that plate and everything. Like, I mean, I literally, the plate, the bar, all that stuff is based on the number of people you have. We had an open bar. People ain't have to pay a goddamn thing. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying?
that open bar
But
is
I got
practically
charged for people that didn't come still. Oh yeah, the open bar was hitting.
I wish I
But
could have stayed a little
yeah.
bit later, and I wish I would have went by myself. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, see?
Cause we be
Yeah, but I
related right
mean,
now.
here you go. You know what? Let's stop it because but
Just
yeah,
saying,
it's
some of your
just
family was eyeing a girl. I'm just saying.
it's just again, the whole process though, it's a big enough headache where people don't need the headaches from the outside, because we basically had a kid-free wedding too, other than the kids that were in the wedding.
Hmm.
And then my flat out my brothers are in the wedding, so their kids were at the wedding. Obviously, my nephews. Then that was it. I mean, we didn't have no other kids. I think my one cousin wanted to bring in his daughter. Um, he just called me like, "Oh, well, I got her with me," and and I'm like, "Well, I ain't got no choice. Like, you got to come now." I mean, you can't call me as I'm driving to the wedding venue to be like, "Oh, I got to bring her." Yeah, I mean, but we had a kid-free wedding, and I didn't feel bad about it. Like, if you feel some kind of, that'd be a big topic too. People who have kid-free weddings and people who get mad because they want to bring their kids to your wedding. No, stay your ass at home. Like, this is my
Especially the
wedding.
badass kids too. I've
The
seen
kids are
so
always going.
many
They
daggone
always gonna
first
run.
dances with the kids just all up in the way, on her train, on her dress, just running around. Just I listen. I'm a big out of. We can segue into this.
Hmm.
Kids
Go ahead.
nowadays have no sense of manners. Like
Hmm.
no sense of, hey, like I probably shouldn't be doing this, or like just any type of tact, couth, polish, nothing. Like, and like I was saying before for the pod, so we could uh so we could do this properly.
Hmm.
Because it's giving me a headache. I understand because we are talking about what's the comic's name? I can't even think.
Oh, Ryan Davis.
Ryan Davis
And him
and
talking
his
about
relationship
his
with his
bad
mother and
upbringing.
everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I think in parenting, grace is a lot of times one sided when it comes down to parenting, because when parents observe kids kind of like doing things they shouldn't do, whether they know better or don't, it's like, oh, they'll just, they'll grow out of it. This is kids being kids. However, a lot of kids don't have grace for their parents. Like, even when they become adults and they're questioning, well, why did we have to eat this for dinner? Or, we had to heat the house with like, once they are now
Hmm.
responsible for their own livelihood and see how much it costs to take care of themselves, see how much they have to do to create that livelihood or whatever, they still don't understand that all the while they're doing everything responsible for you, it's an economic fatigue when it comes down to parenting, because
Hmm.
right now it's so expensive to provide that you don't get a chance to parent outside of them being in trouble. So it's like, I I say it all the time. Bring back the dinner table. Like, have dinner with your kids at the dinner table. No screens, no TV, no nothing. Have those conversations. That's when you get a chance
Hmm.
to parent. And on top of that, it's also a spiritual thing because they're ingesting not only the food, but the lesson that you're teaching them at the same time.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's when it really hit home. Food is an experience or whatever. And so the conversations you have while you're, what I'm saying, sitting there with your kids and they're sitting there with you, whatever, they don't forget that stuff. It
Yeah.
literally biochemically stays with them.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
I mean, I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like, and I think a lot of things that we had growing up as kids that they need is we had talked about this before the pod is like the games that we played. We
Mhm.
had Mario Brothers. It was very mission focused. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't get a chance to have the cheat codes or buy extra bonus packages, extra coins, extra this, extra that. And it taught you patience. It taught you strategy. It taught you, to try again when you
Mhm.
lose. When
Mhm.
you have to start all the way from the beginning.
Mhm.
You didn't have a lot of memory cards. You had to play a lot of games, a lot of boards from the beginning.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then
That's
also
why we
having
grew up at a time that we didn't want to turn the game off at times because you ain't want to lose your progress. You ain't want to have to start back over from the
and
beginning.
that
Yeah.
thing is hotter than a daggone
Yeah.
biscuit out
Yeah.
the oven when you
Yeah.
come back to it because it's been running
Yeah.
all day.
Mhm.
So, and then also having pets. You know what I'm saying? When you have to take care of something outside of yourself that actually depends on you to feed them, to clean them, to, have that social interaction or whatever. Like, I remember it was so many daggone dogs and we had neighborhood dogs, whatever. You come over, it's like it's Tyson, it's Jordan. And then back in the day in the 90s, why every dog or animal was named after an athlete in a black household? Like, think about it.
That's easy. But you're right about that. You're right.
But having a pet, having responsibility, knowing that you had to do certain things before you got a chance to do what you want. You had to do things that were necessary before you got to do things that you wanted to do. And
Mhm.
parents back then they had no problem with you not going to go play this sport, with you not attending this game, with you not running this race. What? Like that was your
Yeah.
academic probation for real. Was your parent telling you you couldn't go
Yeah.
do certain things?
Yeah. I mean, that kind of tie into what you were saying in the beginning, where you were talking about the cleaning and that how that felt nostalgic and stuff. Because I mean, that was it. Like it. What did you say before the show? You were saying something about, or maybe you said it after we started. It's like let you come home, let your parent come home, and you ain't did what you were supposed to do.
Man,
Like,
what?
like,
You get your ass
like.
beat.
Not that, you see that's where I say that we didn't need to have like I'll give people this like maybe you don't have to have that today just because you didn't do chores, because look, I still say people should still get some kind of physical. I mean, I am some kind of whooping or something. I ain't saying beat their ass to the inch of their life, but uh, when you took that, I always say I had a healthy fear of my parents because I knew that if my mama said, "Okay, I'm gonna tell your dad when you get home," you knew what that meant. All right, you know what that means, and you fear your dad coming, you fear that whooping or whatever, and so I do feel like that's lacking in a certain respect, but you don't have to do it for everything. But if you came home and shit wasn't done, all right, you think you was about to be sitting there watching that TV and stuff if that shit wasn't done? Yeah, nah. I ain't gonna say you ain't they ain't touch you or nothing like that. They ain't hit you at all. But I'm just saying, what you weren't gonna be doing is still sitting there on that game or watching that TV or you was gonna think you was gonna still be outside or something. You ain't do what you're supposed to do. Like I'm a very big consequences person. Like I have no hesitation saying that. It's just I feel like there comes a thing or a time where it has to be, hey, did you do this? And if you didn't do this, then this is the consequence. Or if you did do this, then boom, you get to go do this. It's just I feel like that's one of the simplest things in life because that's how life works. That's how a job works. Hey, if you go to work and you do your work, you're gonna get paid. If you don't go to work enough times, you're gonna get fired. If you go to work enough times and you don't do your work, you're gonna get written up. If you keep doing it at some point, you're gonna get fired.
Cause and effect.
Everything in life has an action and then a consequence for it. An action, reaction, or whatever. That's just how it is. And so I feel like in a sense, with this whole thing that we're talking about right now, which is kind of general, because we done talked about three different aspects of this, but in this whole general aspect of things, there's too much of removing um of like not consequences more so, but like removing of what's the word I'm looking for? Like responsibilities in a sense.
Hmm.
Like because life is so easy nowadays. Because I mean, like in our house, like we try to figure out chores that could be done, and you sit there and you're like, okay, well, back in the day we had a dish, we didn't have dishwasher, so we washed dishes, and back in the day we didn't have this, so we had to do these things. And so it's like I feel like at some point, um, at times it's too many people that spend so much energy trying to remove barriers for their kids, which is not a bad thing to make your kids' life easier than what your life was. Nothing about that is bad, but you spend so much time trying to remove so many of these barriers and things from them to give them an easier life that you sometimes just forget to give them some of the things that you did have that you actually did need when you were growing up. Those things that were responsibilities. It ain't the end of the world that we had to wash them goddamn dishes. It ain't. It didn't take none of us out that we had to wash dishes. It ain't take none of us out that we had to go cut some grass. It ain't take none of us out that we had to go shovel some snow. It ain't take none of us out that somebody had to go wash some clothes in the house. Like none of the or fold some towels when they were. My mom would every so often be like, "Hey, y'all sitting there watching TV, fold them towels up while y'all sitting there." I mean, that didn't kill nobody. But again, I feel like sometimes people work so hard to eliminate all of these things for their kids to make their life easy, which again is nothing wrong with that. That at some point you forget to just be like, oh, nah, you need to be doing something like this. Like, no, you need to have this level of responsibility that says that, hey, you need to do this. And if you don't go do this, then damn it, you ain't getting this. Or you can't go here. Or you can't go play this. Like it's just to me, it's just simple concepts of life, at least with that.
And it's so crazy because it's like if you think about it, like one of the biggest things is that you was told something one time. You was told something one time
Mostly.
because I feel like that kept our parents able to do other things versus always being on our neck and repeating themselves and repeating this. You got told one time. And
I,
if they had to
I,
repeat
I,
themselves, go
they
ahead.
they was gonna use some language if they ever had to repeat they stuff. Well, they was gonna make it known when they had to repeat they stuff to do something.
And
Like
I
you was
think,
gonna know it wasn't their first time telling you.
oh
Put it like
yeah,
that.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
And I
just
think
put it like
that
that.
was another important quality to where in life as an adult, a lot of times you don't get repeat instructions for shit. And
Mm-mm.
sometimes those can be in situations where it is life or death, to where you have to
Mm-hmm.
listen like one time.
Yeah,
Like if
I
you
just
think about it,
equated to. Yeah, go ahead. I'm
go ahead.
sorry. No, go.
Because if you think about it, whatever, like if a police officer stops you, he's not gonna repeat himself.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna ask you certain questions one time. He gonna give you certain
Mm-hmm.
instructions one time. And also at your job, a manager is not gonna be on your neck like a freaking parent. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
replace you. You're gonna get fired if you don't do
Mm-hmm.
what's asked of you. They're not gonna keep telling you and telling you and telling you. And on top
Mm-hmm.
of that, I think like a lot of times, even with the chores situation, you earn money to where you didn't always have your hand out every time you went outside the house to your parents. You
Mm-hmm.
looked at within your means and within your funds. Hey, can I afford this? And
Mm-hmm.
if I can't, what can I do to make some extra money? That's where the
Mm-hmm.
shovel and snow, the raking, like you actually had hustle to where you
Mm-hmm.
actually balance your own allowance money and seeing what you could and could not afford to do outside of
Yeah.
having your hand up to your parents. And because you knew your parents took care of the responsibilities. You earned money for what you wanted, but everything that was taken care of as far as you needed, like you understood that concept to where
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have entitlement issues.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I agree. I mean, also I mean, we lived a simpler life back then also, like, for us, we can just go we can find a way to be out the house and make that shit work for us without having to do a million different things. Just sitting at somebody's house or whatever, even just, like we go to the park back in the day and play ball for hours or anything like that. We found a way to make stuff work. It seems like so much stuff has to cost money nowadays because everything's so digital, electronic and stuff now. So they're always connected to something and they don't have it built into them. I'm talking about kids, they don't have it built into them to just kind of just, go disappear for a day and be able to manage all day. They just it doesn't work for them. I mean, they haven't gone outside and it's 90 some plus degrees and you outside all day long and your parents don't want you to come back in the house because whatever. You know what I'm saying? You find a way to manage outside in that heat all day long.
And I just don't understand. Then, like, on top of that, it's like, I'm sorry, no kid is gonna DoorDash anything, Uber Eats, nothing, and there's food in that house. Go cook. Like, I get it. I get it. You can make your child's life easier, but if you're gonna give them
That's just
something, make sure that you also give the lesson with it. Like, yeah, you got a dishwasher. However, if we didn't have a dishwasher, you had to wash these dishes. Do they know how to wash dishes if the dishwasher is not working? Do they know how to do things outside of the convenience afforded to them?
yeah, I get that part. I mean, the DoorDash
So
thing
give the
is
lesson
if
too.
everybody does that nowadays. That's just life. That's I think that's where we sometimes as adults have to understand that some of this stuff is just flat out life. It's like when people talk about kids not being able to tell time. I still think they should be able to look at a clock and tell time. I honestly feel that way. But if you really think about it, when is the last time you seen a clock? They just
I got them
don't
on
have
time
them
at work
anywhere.
because we got to count pulses and respirations and
Yeah.
stuff like that or whatever. But yeah, like these.
And even when you do, it's a digital clock. They'll have a digital clock somewhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've eliminated them. So it's like as much as we think that they should still know how to tell time, if there ain't a clock nowhere in the world that they ever looking at, you know. Now, so that one maybe not, but I still think they should be able to count money.
Oh,
I
for
know
sure.
most of
And
the
I was about to go to that,
I
whatever, like
know it's
change,
digital.
knowing different
Yeah,
parts of the currency levels on that,
yeah,
whatever. Man,
yeah. That I think they still need to know. I understand you gonna tap with
tax,
your card, you
all
gonna
that.
tap with your phone and all. I understand that, but excuse me. I mean, you just need to be able to add and subtract. You know, you need to be able to look at your bank account and be like, oh, this is actually right, or this is actually, or this is wrong, or something like that. Like, you need to be able to add. I mean, even when I'm in line, you know, I still pay with cash every now and then or whatever, but it's like I'll have the change in my head before it even show up on the thing half the time or whatever, because it's simple math for us. We grew up counting, you know, and spending actual money. Well, I don't know.
It's a different world, but at the same time, it's like also teaching kids, um, like, for example, my nephew took his girlfriend out on a date and didn't like account for like the Uber back and forth along with the meal. And
Oh
so
my
he hit me
gosh.
up asking me if I could send him money because of course they got to
How
get
old was
back
he?
16, 17, something like that.
I'm trying to think. Could I give him a pass for that? I mean,
Ubers, it depends on like okay, so this thing. The reason why I gave him a pass because Ubers have that
Ubers
what
can
is it called? That
vary in
service
price. Yeah, they can
where
vary
yeah,
in
where like
price.
if it's a lot of people like that need Ubers, whatever, the price change. So I give him that. But my thing is I don't want him to get into this space of like having the money just to do something you want to do and not
Yeah,
having nothing after that. Like if you can't go
yeah,
on this date twice, don't go on a date. If you can't
yeah.
give this money away, don't because if you think about it, like even when I say whatever, always having your hand out to your parents versus looking at what you have within your means. When you have your hand out to your parents, it's just the same as financing.
Hmm.
Like, unless you can buy it outright, don't always get yourself in a position of financing or being on credit
Yeah.
because you got money from me, but should you pay it back?
Yeah, but you know where some of that comes from too is the fact that again it's a digital world. So, you know, I think it's important to teach kids. He's at that age, you know, the 16ish age or whatever of understanding that, like you say, you need to have that. You need to have more money. So I think they have a mentality on them because they never see the actual money. It just, you know, like with Amir, his I think for what I when she gives him his allowance, she just transfers money into his account. So other than like birthdays and things and Christmas or whatever, where people just hand you money, you don't ever really handle money. So you don't have that physical thing in your head of, oh, I had a 20, now it's down to 12, now it's down to 6, and you can physically see it. You just think about the phone all the time. And I'm just Apple Pay, Apple Pay, Apple Pay. I'm tapping on my card, and it just never really registers with you like, oh, I don't have it. and you have to build
And
that
I can
portion,
always
and
go
you also
ask my parents.
yeah, and you also have to build the other portion of you can't, because what you're describing, what he's doing is basically what people do, not by choice, not by choice all the time, but almost living paycheck to paycheck. You have to be able to live within your means. You can't sit there and say, okay, I'm going to get $20 on this day, so I got $20 to spend. No, you may only have $10 to spend, or you may only have $7 to spend, because the rest of this money got to be put somewhere else for something else, or you need to save something that at some point has to be taught too, like you said with the date thing. Like you got to have enough money to do what you want to do and still be able to do what you need to do. Like
Absolutely.
your nephew needed to have a little bit of extra money to kind of go into. It's that in case shit happens money, you know?
And then I know my one friend, man, kudos to her parenting because her one daughter at 20 some years old, savings look crazier than some adults that I know. Like
Hmm.
when I tell you, like, and she has like she's figured out her, I guess I don't even know how to say it, like her boyfriend, she don't pump gas, she don't pay for gas.
Hmm.
Like whoever she's talking to at the time, they go fill her tank up, they pay for the gas. Like now she
That's
has an
amazing.
electric vehicle, so of course that's not a conversation or whatever. But when she had a gas vehicle, she never pumped gas, she never paid for gas. And that was from her driving from 16 to adulthood. She don't pay for
Mm.
gas. I was like, how and who do they got an uncle? Because like,
I'm sitting here thinking like am I a horrible husband? Because I think at some points if Kalisha's out, she'll put some gas in her car. I've seen people say online that the wife would just tell them, "Well, I need gas," and husband just goes and get it. Like if she was sitting in the house and she was just like, "Hey, I need gas," even though she doesn't drive her car that much because we both work from home. I
mhm,
mean, I'm guessing, of course, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But it's just, I don't know. Like she don't pump gas. Like she's never been with me and pump gas. Even when I would go visit her down in Columbus, if I was riding with her somewhere, like if she needed gas, it wasn't gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna make you get out and pump your gas. I mean, like that's insanity. That's never. If she gets on the road now to go to like Cincinnati or something, I'll go make sure everything, and I don't go. Like I'll go make sure the car is full before she goes because I'm not going to make her pump gas. Now I need to ask her though, like when she's about to come back home, sometimes she gets gas, like making sure that she got a mirror out the pump of gas because that's where like there's things you shouldn't be doing, when there's a young man in the car with you and stuff like that. But yeah, but back to the thing about paying stuff. She was 16 and somebody paying for her gas. I don't, I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. How would I feel as if I had a daughter who was 16 and she had a car and she never paid for the gas and I'd be looking like, oh, you need some gas or something. She's like, oh no, Timmy paid for it or something like that. It's just, I don't know. I'd be looking like, bring that nigga over here because who was you to be out here just paying for gas and what kind of money you got coming in as
listen,
expensive as gas is?
and listen. I'm telling you, like she don't pump gas, she don't pay for gas. And I was just thinking, like, even with that consideration, or whatever, like I know I kind of fall short on my duties as a woman to a man because for all my life, when I've dated, I've always been in my mind like the homie. So like I remember one of my relationships, we went over and was with his family and he had to whisper to me like, "Hey, fix my plate." Because like my aunt and my mom, they look at like if your woman fix your plate or whatever. And I'm like, "Okay, I got you." But that's not my default. I had to add that because I'm thinking like, okay, food is, buffet. I'm telling you, and it's so sad because like I almost ruined my sister's relationship with that. I think I talked about this on the podcast. Long story short, her fiance at the time, they wasn't married yet, had hand cut, cooked, and served me 5 plates of homemade French fries. I love homemade French fries, right? With
Hmm.
chicken and everything like whatever. And we talking, we drinking this and that, whatever. And served me hand cut, cooked and served me. So the next day, I say I'm gonna cook breakfast. Once I cook breakfast, took me way long, like because I'm trying to figure out what everybody wanted and stuff like that. Took me like almost 2 hours. Now he's a chef, so he that's his trade. He's a chef. That's his occupation. So as a chef. you hungry for hours on end when you could have been cooked this breakfast and fed yourself whatever, and I'm trying to do a good thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I get done, it's hours later, and then I say, okay, breakfast is ready, y'all come make y'all plate. I served nobody. Man, he left. He stormed out, cussed my sister out, and left. I said, oh my God. Never let that be a thing again. If I cook, I'm serving, I'm making people's plate, and I'm serving. He does that even for the
Yeah.
holidays. When we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, and he cooks, he literally makes everybody's plate and
I
serves
mean,
it
is
to
that
you.
because he's a chef? Is that like his default or
I think
what?
it's a mix between both of how he was raised and because he's
Oh,
a chef. So
yeah.
it's
That
like that's not my default, but I learned that like from him. So like when I cook, I serve people they food, and it's also a good gesture on the receiving end that I feel like okay, damn, like you know what I'm saying, you cooked this wonderful meal, it's served to me or whatever. Like it's just a good like gesture
I'll be honest.
because you cook all
There
the
ain't.
time. And you like come make your plate.
Yeah, but they're this that's the whole plate making argument is one of those things that's a black community argument. Like I don't need nobody to make my plate. I really don't because you don't know how much food I want on my plate and all these things. It's a nice gesture if you do, if it's like a family event. But people be having those whole debates and arguments about making your man's or your husband's plate or whatever. Ma'am, I have arms and hands and feet and legs. I can walk my ass to the stove or to this buffet table and make my own plate. It is not that serious for me. Yeah, has Kalisha made my plate at times? Yeah, but more times than not, she cooked. She tell me, "Hey, food's done." I'm like, "All right, I'll come on to here and make my plate." That's why I was asking if it was his default, because he's a chef or whatever. Some people take that seriously. It ain't one of those things that drive me insane. It's not a relationship deal breaker for me. That's just one of those arguments. I think it's just killing our community. Same thing with
Well, to each
when
their
people be
own.
talking.
It's a to each their own
Yeah, yeah,
type. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. I
I
mean,
would
I
say
wouldn't judge anybody.
it depends on where we are and what the setting is. So like let's say if I'm with a guy and it's their families get together or whatever. I honestly would feel uncomfortable. Even though he whispered that to me, I understood in that moment that I could go ahead and do that. But if I've never been around these people and I go digging in food, I feel
Yeah,
awkward. So
tell
I
me
would
about it.
actually
Yeah.
want him to fix our plates. And then if I invite him over to my family, you know what I'm saying, or my friends, space or whatever, I would then fix the place or whatever because I don't want nobody looking at like who is this
Or we
dude
both
just
walk our asses up there. Like we both walk our ass, and I
or
mean,
yeah,
it's
or
just,
that too.
yeah. At the same time, it's too much pressure, and it's so pointless. Are we gonna eat the food? Damn it! Are we gonna chew the food and eat it and swallow it and all that shit? Then who the hell cares about who is making the plate? But I get when old school people maybe look and be like, oh, she this or something in the third, this in the
Yeah.
third. But it's just young people having that discussion and that debate for what? Half y'all asses ain't even cooking. What are y'all having this debate for about who making the play? Half y'all's out here ordering DoorDash every fucking day. What you doing? What y'all arguing about? Who gonna unbag the food? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Back to
I
food is
hate
crazy.
that argument. I hate the argument about who gonna sit in the front seat if it's me and you, if I'm driving and it's my wife and my mama who gonna sit in the front seat. Who the fuck cares? If y'all don't get in the car and put y'all seatbelt on so we can get on home so I can go watch this game, I don't care who's sitting in the front seat. Why is this even a debate? I hate those things. Oh, that was
Um,
probably the
I
worst
would
one.
say this that front seat conversation. I say this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If I'm in a good space with your mother, she respects me, she likes me. Go ahead, have the front seat, just scoot that seat up a little bit because I need leg room. Cool, bet. Don't care. You know what I'm saying? But if she has like that competitive vibe with me, like I don't care who he bring around, whatever. I'm still the first lady in his life. Get in the back.
I'm so I'm so glad my mom don't be on that shit. My mom going 10 times out of 10 tell you to sit up front.
Mhm.
So she gonna tell Kalisha 10 times out of 10 to sit in the front seat. 10 times out of 10. I'm so glad my mom don't be on that has never really been on that territorial bullshit that some mothers do with their sons. Where
What do you think about that
they
too? What do you think about that? Like when they like when the mother is like extra like competitive with the significant other of their son.
I think it's weird. And
Mhm.
again, maybe it's because I don't have one of those mothers that do that. So I think it's weird. I think my mom has always done a good job of being like, I need to raise y'all to be grown, to be men at some point. Not saying she don't have no opinions on what we do, because she do. Not saying she ain't gonna give us advice on things, because she do. But she don't meddle. Like, she not gonna be calling and trying to tell you, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. She ain't gonna be in competition with nobody that we've dated over the years, or wife, or anything like that. You know, at some point for her, it was like, y'all are grown and this is y'all life. I may not agree with this, or anything like that, but it's y'all life and y'all got to live it. So again, so maybe I'm just jaded because I don't have to deal with it. I don't have a mother like that. I hear stories of people who have mothers like that can't let their sons go. And I think that's a 50-50 thing. I think that's a mom who can't let go of her son. And on the other side of it is a son who's a mama's boy that can't fucking let go of his mom either. And at some point you got to grow up, and this person that you date, this wife, that's the number one woman in your life, because you have to have your own family and things. But again, my parents, I mean, both of my parents, period, they go out of their way to sit there and try to not, in a sense, involve themselves with things, in a sense, or they may need help. Like, I have to beat them down, like if I know they need help for something, because they're not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, we need this, that," knowing that it's gonna take away from our homes or something like that. So, in that respect, I think I'm lucky. Um, but yeah, so I just think it's a weird dynamic that you are meddling so much in your child's life. I mean, we talk about the mother son dynamic, where it's just weird. Like, hell, do you want to date them? It's that unnatural relationship that, I mean, but no, it's the truth though. It's that unnatural relationship of things that gets forged over the years, when I don't want to just pick on like a single parent household or something like
I
that, but you
I
see
about to
that a
ask
lot.
you about that too.
But you see that a lot of times too, when it was just a mother and a son for years, and she raised them, and that's all they knew, or all he knew was his mom, and all of these types of things. And so he grew up his whole life that way, and so they have a damn near like a separation anxiety type of thing. um but it's still weird. It's still weird. I couldn't imagine constantly having my mom come in between relationships and stuff that I've had with women over the years, or being married now, and her always inputting herself into something. Like, it just, I would fall, knowing my personality, I would probably damn near fall out with my mom before because of stuff like that, because I'm grown. I'm a grown ass man. Like, you not gonna sit here and be telling me who I should be dating or who I shouldn't be dating, or you constantly around making her feel uncomfortable, and you always overstepping bounds and stuff like that shit it's not healthy. It's not a healthy dynamic. That's my opinion on it. Yeah. Have you
I get
dealt with
that.
that? Have you ever dealt with
I've
it
dealt
with a yeah, see.
I've dealt with and it's like I think the whole respect your elders is abuse in that exchange because I'll never be disrespectful to nobody's mother. Never be disrespectful to nobody's mother.
Yeah, me
As
neither.
grown as I am, you know what I'm saying? I will never be disrespectful to nobody's mother. And I kind of will look to him to tweak that. Um, and if he doesn't, then I already know what's up. Because
How long would you give them to tweak it and change? Like, if you complaining to them, like, "Hey, this is going on. This is how
depends
she
on how
treats me."
extreme it depends on how extreme the offense is. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Yeah, yeah.
she like really comes like full throttle, like coming in hot on some, I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how extreme like it is, whatever. Because certain things will need like acknowledgement and correction in that second.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, does she know that we're more than friends? That like this is, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And, because that also is somewhat of a representation of how you're going to protect me in other situations
I can feel
with
that.
other people. Because, like, if you know that your mom is being loud and wrong and you can't address that, it lets me know that you lack accountability yourself. So then, the same way that you try to brush her behavior under the rug will be an expectation for me to brush your behavior under the rug because this is where you
Yeah.
learned it from.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's just there has to be a separation at some point.
Mhm.
I've heard people say, well, my mama will be here forever. You may not be, which is obviously true. Obviously, that's true, but that don't mean that she just gets to say and do what she wants in this relationship space. Um, it just don't work that way. And again, maybe I could be in a minority with a lot of people, with a lot of guys, but it just don't work that way. Um, and again, maybe I'm in a minority because my mom ain't gonna be that. I think you could call Carlisha down here right now and ask her about it, and she would be like, "Nah, she ain't. That's not her type or whatever." That's not her how her relationship is with my mom or anything. And same thing with her parents. Like they not overstepping and y'all should be doing this and y'all should be doing that and all of these types. It's the same thing because I wouldn't be able to deal with it if 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 her parents are like that where they always had an opinion about what's going on and it started to affect our house, then guess what? It ain't our house, it's our house and their house. And then if that's the case, I need to go get my own house because that ain't gonna work.
No, for sure. I think that, everybody has that person to confide in, but you have
Of course.
to discern who you confide in because they need to be unbiased. Because I'm a very
Hmm.
unbiased person because I could love you to life. But if you wrong in a situation, I'm gonna tell you, hey, yeah, I get how you feel, and I'm not gonna invalidate your feelings about it, but facts are you
Yeah.
wrong.
You
You
got to keep
you
somebody in
you
your life that's
wrong.
gonna keep it real with you like that. Like you have to. And I mean, for all areas of life. You need to have that person
Mhm.
that's gonna sit there and listen to you and be like, uh-huh, uh-huh. Let you get all that
Get
shit
it
off your
all out.
chest. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And be like, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But you know what? You probably was wrong with X, Y, and Z or something like that. You have to have that person. And too many people like to have those yes people around them that ain't gonna tell them something or ain't gonna check them. And that's something else that ain't healthy. You can't sit there in
And
life and have people telling you yes all the time or telling you how good you are all the time or how you will never do anything wrong and all these things. Because guess what? You're going to walk out this door somewhere, you know what I mean? And the world
and
going to
be
sit there and
shot.
tell you, we don't give a fuck about you. We don't give a
Mhm.
fuck about you. You ain't all that. You ain't all that. You at your job, they gonna replace your ass and you come out sick tomorrow, they'll have a replacement in there by Wednesday. And it's just life will tell you that. The world gonna tell you
Mhm.
that. Now, I get it in your house, you should get unconditional love with most things. I get it. But again, you gotta be prepared for the world. You gotta have a person in your life that tell you, okay, yeah, cool, cool. But this ain't gonna work. Or you was
Yeah.
wrong.
And I promise you, and it's another thing that kids need to be raised to understand as well. Like your household will not reflect the world you live in. Because it was some hard pills I had to swallow in my 30s that I was like,
Hmm.
damn, in my household, we was raised to tell the truth and you just deal with whatever comes with that. Like sometimes it'll be a conversation, sometimes you'll get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? But you
Yeah.
told the truth because, like I said on plenty of occasions before on the pod, whatever, being honest and transparent, like, allows those people that are taking care of you to protect you or to, you know what I'm saying, do whatever they have to do in the
Hmm.
real time. That way it can be preventative measures taken to where it doesn't have to snowball into something way worse.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
in the real world, you're gonna find certain individuals that will weaponize your truth, your vulnerability, and use that against you to where when you speak up about things that shouldn't happen to you, they'll invalidate your character and your
Hmm.
value because of the truth and the vulnerability that you had. Like, for
Hmm.
example, I've seen a post earlier today. It was talking about how women stop telling men everything about you. Like, stop telling men everything about it. They don't need to know everything about you. Like, especially when it comes down to what you dealt with in your past relationships, because they hold it as a measure of how much they can get away with you now. They hold it as a measure of what you kind of deserve now, whatever. Like, you can't tell a man that you got a good job because he'll think that he doesn't have to go like the financial mile with you because, hey, she got it. Or like, oh, he cheated on you, so I
Huh.
should be able to cheat too. Oh, he did this with you, so I should be able to do that too. So if you tell him all of these things, it gives him way more leeway in his mind And so then when he does these things and you bring it up like, "Hey, why did you do that?" "Well, you dealt with it before. Why can't you deal with it now with me?" And
I mean, I
for
I
for
I
for
get I
for
I
the
get that.
underdeveloped, that's the
Yeah, okay. Okay.
case.
Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah,
Don't get
I'm
me
glad
wrong,
I'm
it's
glad
not
you yeah,
every
okay.
man. That's not a blanket statement, but for the underdeveloped individual, they will see
Mhm.
that as a measurement of how much they can get away with you. However, I'm one that was raised to be honest. So if you ask me about these certain things, I'm gonna tell you the truth. But then you weaponize it on the back end. So now I have to be kind of more reserved than I like to be because I don't it is what it is. Like my truth is my truth.
Yeah.
But I understand that people will shame you for certain things and that sours the relationship. That sours the exchange, whether it be platonic or intimate, whatever, because they're underdeveloped and they don't understand that, hey, that was a growing point for you. That was a lesson
Mhm.
learned for you versus it being
Yeah.
okay for me to devalue you as the opportunity of like, and then on top of that, it also devalues how other people see you. Like brainstorming and all that or whatever, like he done been through this and he done been through that or whatever. I don't know why everybody think that he's the man
No, I get it.
because they're competing with how their access to you is with other people.
Mhm.
So they have to make
Yeah.
you seem less than who you are because guess what? When people come with to you with respect, when people come with you and value, and they don't, that's offensive. Why I gotta
Yeah.
do all that stuff like everybody else? He ain't all that. He this, he that, this and that, whatever. Like I'm not about to do all that. My access with him is just fine.
Mhm.
I get the same access, I get the same things, whatever. I'm not about to sit up there and have any type of reciprocity for the exchange.
Well, thank God I ain't gotta deal with none of that no more. Thank
I
goodness. Thank goodness. I can't
mean, in an intimate
I
setting,
feel
you're
lucky all
right.
the time.
But then you have to watch out for these friends and these associates and the
Oh
people that
yeah,
kind of get
yeah. I
close
guess in
to
that
you.
sense, yeah, yeah, yeah. In that respect, yeah. But that's why as people get older, that's why your circle gets smaller. The older you get, I mean, you grow up in your 20s, you got about 10 people you kick it with, 10, 15 people you might kick it with on varying levels, varying degrees of what you may do with them or something like that. And the older you get, that circle just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. For a bunch of reasons. I mean, life gets different. People move, people have kids, people have families, all types of stuff, different reasons, but also because of the fact too that you start to see people from more who they are as you get older and mature more and you start going this way, they start going this way a little bit more. Um, yeah, that circle gets smaller, you know. And like you said, you people people be doing some fuck shit sometimes. And you be like, all right, I need to leave you where you are. And keep it moving.
I think my proximity shifts as I get older. So because it could be they don't even have to do anything. They don't have to switch up. They don't have to do no weird shit. This and this and that, whatever. It's just that um my gratitude has an expiration date. Like if what you do for me today, I'm not gonna hold 10 years from now and hold you in this place in this regard. Because you haven't done anything new. While I appreciate it and you have done nothing wrong, whatever, my proximity shifts.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you don't continue to play a pivotal part in my life, the proximity just shifts. And
No.
I just leave you where the last good memory is. And I don't hold that to be current because there has been people who have done astronomical gestures for me in 2003.
Yeah.
And while
It's
I'm grateful and I
2026.
respect and I appreciate it, um, I've still been through a lot of life that you've been absent in. And my people around me play those parts. They check in, they show up. You know what I'm saying? Like they make time for me. They invite me over. Like they have it's like a contact time. You know, bleach kills germs, but it's if you have the contact time. You can't just put it down and wipe it up. You have to let it sit. You have to let
Yeah,
it
you feel
do
the
its
yeah.
job. So if we don't have the contact time, my proximity just shifts, and that's okay. You have other people have kids, people have families, they have other things going on. And I don't hold that against them. I don't hold no grudge against them. But my proximity will shift because the lack of contact
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me. You ain't gonna get no argument from me.
time.
Uh, well, all right. Where we at? We about a hour,
Hmm.
hour 10 minutes into the show. So I guess we can wrap this one. We said we was gonna keep it pretty concise today.
Yep.
So we can try again. Yeah, we can try again next Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything going on in the evening. That's the first. Yeah. Yep. We good.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we should be good. On my end, we should be good for at least the next 3 Sundays, to be honest. But either way, we'll be all right. But yeah, we'll be back next Sunday then. Um, Anything new going on? Anything you gotta let people know about? Give them all your
Oh,
shits, all that stuff.
yes. I will have another 2 weekends at Don't Tell Comedy, March 21st and March 28th. I'll be performing. Um, and
We need to try to get to one of those, but we won't be
there's
here
Saturdays at
on
8,
those
8
2 days.
p.m.
Yeah, we won't be here on those 2 days. I know for a fact we won't be here, but we do got to get to one of those.
It's cool. Listen, trust me, I ain't going nowhere from that stage. Next show is next show.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have Don't Tell Comedy or whatever. On the March 21st, Saturday, 8 p.m. And March 28th, Saturday, 8 p.m. Once you buy the ticket, they release the location. So don't ask me where it's at. I know for sure
Okay.
one is gonna be on the west side. Um, but yeah, it's a great crowd. It's a great vibe. They actually have very, very, very funny comics. I like doing that production. Um, and I don't
It's the
think I
audience.
have
Audience. It's the audience. White, black, mixed. What?
mixed.
Okay.
Um, yeah, even when it was on the east side, it was mixed. So the
Okay.
white people came out,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a black headliner.
Okay.
Oh, and just an update, I did not make the finals for the We the Ones comedy search Cleveland. Um,
I tell you
I
what,
think they picked who they
WZAK made
wanted to
it
pick though.
difficult to. Yeah, probably. They talk and say stuff,
Because the
but like
one the
if
one person that they picked to be in the finals, whatever, like his video wasn't even on the voting platform, whatever. It was his picture and a link to a YouTube you couldn't even get to from just clicking it. You probably had to copy and paste it. Anyways,
hell, when I
shout out to
went to
them
their
though. Shout out
website
to
once and looked,
huh?
when I went to their website to look the one time, I couldn't even find a link for the voting at all. Like they had the link for tickets, but they didn't have the link
Yeah,
for like the voting for it. So I'm like,
yep.
all right,
And they changed the whole format. When they was voting or whatever, because at first you could just vote without giving an email. The second time you had to vote, you had to provide first name, last name, email, whatever. So I don't even know how all of that was calculated, whatever. But shout out to Anthony Mayo, Desmond Turner, Britton Grace, and my girl Keesili. Keesili, you better kill it. You better win. I promise you, if you don't, I'ma see you. You better talk your shit.
yeah.
Until next time, I am Eulise Dickerson on all social media platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, Eulise Too Funny on TikTok. Follow me, and I'll see y'all. Stay blessed, healthy, and wealthy until we talk again.
All right, and then the I got the R&B night on Tuesdays for however long it lasts right now because it's slow. And I honestly don't think that the owner's gonna keep paying for it like every single Tuesday. So I know at some point I'm just being honest. So at some point it'll probably scale back, but so I'm still doing that bar one on Tuesdays 8 to 11, and then Johnny Malloy's on Friday 7:30 to 11:30. Them 4 hours be kicking my ass. Um, it's it's just one of those things where to stand and DJ and have to be interacting with people for 4 hours. I try my best to ease my way into it. Like I try to not really even start doing a lot with it until about 9. And people don't be getting that. People, you walk in and people, as soon as you turn the music on, people want to ask for a song. It's like back up off me. But even like last Friday was dope. Shout out to Playboy. Playboy came up last Friday.
Okay.
Um, but the best friend came up. She came up with one of her homies over on Friday. Friday will actually wound up being a decent day. It was one of those days where I felt like I wasn't connecting with for whatever reason, I felt like I wasn't connecting with everything. My mixes were good, but I wasn't connecting. But by the end of the night, everybody's talking about how they love the music and everything, and it was dope. Um, so shout out to everybody that be there and pull up. Hopefully, it's a chance that may lead into something I don't want to talk about. Maybe after I'll tell you after the show. I won't say it here, but
You should probably
maybe
do
it lead us.
a request tip jar. Like if you want to request, because the venue's paying me to do what
What
I do.
what? Yeah, but to be honest, I don't. I'll be honest. I don't get bothered a lot up there. It's really
Okay.
only a couple of. It's really only a couple of night. And usually it's something that flows into what I'm already doing more times than not
Okay.
because the crowd up there they love their. I don't do a ton of new shit. Let's put it like that. I don't do a ton of whoever the artist is now that's out there. I don't do a ton of Glow. I don't do a ton of whoever. Um, they love they when I say old school stuff now is not just it ain't 80s hip hop no more. But they still love they
Early
90s hip hop.
2000s and everything like
They
that.
love
Yeah.
they love they 90s hip hop and all that shit. They love they hood shit. They love they Gucci. They love they hell. I threw Pastor Troy on Friday. People love that shit. They love that up there. You can get in that 2000s hip hop like you said and R&B and they love that. I ain't gotta live in today's space. So if you like that Friday, you will enjoy it. They have good food up there. They have good drinks. They got good
I'm gonna come
prices.
up there. I'm gonna mess with it because I'm off Saturday. I'm gonna come up there
Okay.
Friday.
Okay. But so yeah, so got that on Friday. So that's it for me with those things. Um yeah. I don't have nothing bigger coming up. So that's my weekly work right now. So hope to see everybody at some point. So
When do you go
we'll be
on
back.
vacation? Let's got a vacation coming up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those dates that you mentioned, yeah, I ain't gonna be here.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's when we'll be gone. Yep. So
Okay.
that's why we won't be able to do that.
Gotcha.
All right, y'all. So we will be back next Sunday with a show. I actually will. I know I messed up this week, and the show didn't really go out until Thursday. I say it was a different week, but
Yeah.
I'll make sure this is out on Tuesday. And we will catch y'all next Sunday for the show. I'm thinking about trying to figure out how if we should just go live. Like we still got the setup with the Facebook page.
Mhm.
I just because with this site that we use, like it buffers and stuff. Like on your side, I'm crystal clear. You crystal clear right now, but when you get to moving and talking, it starts to buffer. So I don't know if it's going to look like that if we go live. So maybe we probably have to just one day kind of do it for like 10 minutes just to see how it
Yeah,
works
we
and
can do
see how
that.
it
We can do like a
looks.
tester.
And then if it works, we'll be like, all right, we'll do it because that's another avenue that we can do to kind of start getting people back
So
into
from
the
this
fact that we're still
platform,
doing
we can
stuff.
go live on Facebook.
I think I should be able to do I should be able to do Facebook on here when you go live. I gotta look into it. Let me double check it. But I know you can do live stuff from here.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
double check it. And if that's the case, we may need to start doing some of that too. But um,
So we can get some
you know,
comments and some conversations going on.
yeah, see now but then I'll have to be holding the phone and stuff again. But yeah, I've done it before. Man, shout out to the old days of doing the pod way, way back in the day where it was legitimately all of that. But anyway, yeah. So we'll work. That's all in the future. We'll work on that. So again, see y'all next Sunday. It may be cloudy today, but the sun will come out tomorrow. And as long as you are here under the sun, live your life to the best of your motherfucking ability. I am DJ Brainstorm for you on all social media. That is DJ Brainstorm, the number for the letter.
You.
All right, y'all. We'll catch y'all next Sunday. Peace.